grab it. It's another one like DJ Khaled. I just hopped on and seen, oh yeah, me and my brothers got the green, tryna get between them. And she gon' cock block and leave her home. Motherfucker, I got a brother for it, bring her home. I say, DJ, can you put this song on blast? With the hoes in the back shaking that. I know when you know that she gon' shake her ass when I throw this cash. You ever told a bitch I got G's? You ever make a bitty hit her knees? Well, guess what? I'm JP. On my dime, make a bitch say, hey, you bound. Front row, shaking you a bad bitch. She shaking dummy eyes, I just wanna grab it. Ooh, it's another one like DJ Khaled.
I don't care, yo. The kids got me with this one. This shit is funny as hell to hear. It's the TikTok, yo. The TikToks be having me.
Terrible. I've never heard the song before.
Oh yeah, no, this shit like
it sounds like something that would be well on TikTok.
What is this shit? This shit is literally like 2 minutes long, and it's literally just TikTok. I don't know. I don't have anything else for it. I don't think there's any more words. It's just this, and fuck it.
It serves the purpose it's supposed to serve. It's only supposed to be for shaking a little something.
Oh man. What up? So whoever this JP dude is, Bad Bitty, fuck it, man. Go listen. So get the kids some money. Fuck it. I should have started making some music, man.
I mean, you still can.
Yeah, I'm just finna start. I'm gonna get a fucking little pseudo name and just start making some shit.
You know what? I've noticed, which is kind of a positive, I guess, for this generation. Like before, you had to look like something or be something.
Nah.
Today, you could be fat and ugly and still come out with, a popping song just cause, people like it. Like you can just get away with so much more shit today. So if you can slide it in there, big dog, go slide it in there.
It's something for everybody. Cause I've listened to that a few times. And at first, I was thinking like you listen to it on Instagram or TikTok, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, there's more to the song. It's like there's not. I was like, fuck it, man. If this nigga owns this shit, fuck it. Just sometimes it's just fuck it, man. Everybody don't need to be fucking lyrical miracle. Fuck it. Grab that money, little boy.
Max out. If you don't care, like, man, I'm just trying to get in and get out, give me a little bit of money from the situation. He could OT it. OT, I don't even think OT's had an actual album.
Nope. And I low key respect this shit. Not even low key, high key. I drop my fucking singles. I go about my
features here and there. I may do a performance or some shit here and there.
I go about my rich ass business.
I just do whatever shit I need to do. Mind the business that pays me, and shut the fuck up elsewhere. I'm not even mad at it.
Go nuts.
I can appreciate that because you know your role, you know your position.
Jabroni.
As opposed to like other people that step outside of their lane in their position.
I think that might be a good conversation, like framed around music and hip hop or whatever. Like, it's not a big deal if you're not trying to like, step on the toes of like artists. Oh, you just kind of, man, I just be doing shit. Yeah, cool. I'm not finna shit on the just doing shit guy, but when the just doing shit guy be trying to like merge lanes with everybody else, and I guess that makes it. Yeah. I'll be frustrated with that. Like, I just sat here and like made this fucking beat, made this album. Y'all gonna tell me? Fuck that.
It's like I always appreciated back in the day when Walker was relevant. He would let people know all the time, like, I'm not a lyricist. I'm not even a good rapper. I make shit for the crowd that I make shit for, and it hits. Other than that, I'm not good at this. I will never say that I'm good at this because it would be a disrespect to the people that's actually good at this.
And that makes sense though, because I knew what I like. I don't know. That goes into my little rant about like knowing which artist I knew it for, like knowing which artist I needed them for, or whatever. Like I never would put like, like everybody's talking about the Kendrick and the fucking Drakes or whatever. Even them two. Like if I wanted a Waka vibe, I'm never playing them two niggas I just named. Like I'm playing Waka for a reason. I want this shit. I want the fucking roof to pop on this bitch, and maybe I want to see a fight. Like I know what the fuck I'm playing Waka for. So, it made sense.
I mean, you can kind of see the roof go off with a Drake. Maybe a couple Kendrick songs. It depends on what your definition of roof going off looks like.
I know what I'm talking about.
You talking
I know
about?
I know what I'm talking about.
Talking about aggressiveness.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
Violence.
Like, okay, yeah. Don't YouTube, please don't take me down. But I know the children wasn't outside, and this I know I'm also like a really good sibling because I was just like, my sister's a good, wholesome person, but I just knew that you had to put a little bit of influence, and I just feel like this was one of those.
Free squad. I tell my Lord to get my bag for all the crazy shit I do. Yeah, coming back around. You know I'm not backing down. AK love that cat sound. So much shit my back out now. 101 can't last one round. This man wanna see me down. I tell my Lord to get my bag for all the crazy shit I did. Yeah, coming back around.
Y'all wasn't outside, boy.
It wasn't. That's Walker pre Slim Duncan getting killed. That's a different Walker. Post Slim Duncan getting killed,
I'm trying to tell you, that was Walker had no
he had
no sensibilities.
He cared about nothing.
Yeah.
He didn't care about a goddamn thing.
I think I know we had there's a bunch of hip hop shit that's happened or whatever. I feel like it's okay when the hip hop people come in and they little rowdy and they transition. Like I don't ever need Gucci or Waka to give me that again because
No.
they gave it to me when they needed to give it. Like I'm not opposed to anybody growing and becoming a whole adult man or whatever, but right there, boy. And you know what? I had that. Damn, this is I be trying not to shit on the children, but I had that shit when I was supposed to have it. I don't know what the fuck y'all be having now, boy. I had a lot. I had fight music, fuck music, party music.
They have anxiety and substance use issues.
All the time, though, man. I had anxiety music, right? They was talking that shit. If you listen there, you had to listen to them.
Back then, Joe was talking about it.
Yeah, I listened to Joe back then, man.
Mood music, I definitely was downloading all the mood music.
I had depressed shit. You had stuff.
Who was the
Did you listen to Eminem for some mental health
Eminem
shit?
and DMX for sure. They had some. D12 had some shit.
That shit get dark.
Yeah, they had some D12 album. They're out fight music.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Gonna hurt yourself.
Absolutely.
Somebody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. You listen to some Scarface and figure out,
Scarface has
it's a lot going on in this motherfucker, man. Is that what I'm feeling? Am I depressed in this motherfucker? I thought that was just a regular day.
That's an awkward transition of the 90s and early 2000s having a certain feel, the 2000s having a certain feel, let's say 06, 07 through 2012 had a certain feel, and then from then on, it's we had a slight moment. The Kendrick and Cole, when they start having their resurgence and the Nipseys and all them, we kind of had a mini hood consciousness kind of creeping in, and then somewhere Future just kind of fucked it up, and everybody turned into a dope head.
I think for us, it's usually a lot of in the hip hop shit. It's a lot of that. You always put the one up top and don't try to hold space where it's 17 motherfuckers. And I always think that's how it used to be. I used to always say if I wanted Cube, I needed to go straight to Cube. There was nobody else that can give me an Ice Cube sound. I can get a West Coast sound, but Ice Cube was Ice Cube, Snoop is Snoop, fucking East Side is Quick is Quick, so on and so forth. And I think when those motherfuckers came, you kind of, I don't know, you got that, and then after Future, everybody tried to copy the Future-ish sound.
Everybody tried to copy T-Pain.
Well, that's true too. And
you motherfuckers drove him to drink and go broke again because you just would not give him the flowers he deserved.
You know what's the crazy thing is everybody tried to copy T-Pain with the auto-tune shit, but nobody ever landed the mark. And I'm not trying to
Never.
It's weird because nobody landed either one of their marks. They didn't land his or Future's mark. It just is all of these mishmash of attempts, but it's not as good, which speaks to the whole original thought shit. Because I don't Future's not there's all this Future got to be put in your big four. Oh, I have a hot take on that, but I'll be back to that. Because I can get that for the super popularity piece. When somebody breaks down the lyrics, they're he's talking about deep depression and shit and all that. And I'm not like a Future hater nigga. I just know like I know what I use Future for, and that's when I want to be on some bullshit. But I guess that might account for something. But yeah, after that, a lot of these niggas is just like carbon copies of the sound, and I think that shit's ass.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of dudes today are a carbon copy of, to a degree, the Migos sound.
That too, I feel like they should get credit for, because I don't find them to be like, that's their sound. Everybody else is trying, but them niggas is not bad. Like, and when they was like, people was doing a lot of shit when they was, Rest in Peace Takeoff. That album was good. I like that little album when they did all the separate shit that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he gave them the ability. Like by then they had long matured and all of that, so that's a different situation. Early Migos, I couldn't stand early Migos. But that's because we had Travis Porter at the time, so I'd rather listen to Travis Porter than Migos. And then they evolved and got better over time.
Yeah, see, I like them because of what they I feel like, that's, no disrespect to one-sided music, but they just gave me music for what I needed them for.
Absolutely. No, they were strictly for college campuses and ass throwing.
Fell sad.
Yeah, you know what their music was for.
Travis Porter for sure was fell sad.
Yeah, it was for
respect them.
Definitely for outside.
Yeah, good job.
Nothing else. If you are playing that music, is because something's happening, or you at some house party or club or something, and the strippers performing, and they'll still throw one of them songs on.
The kids missed that Dallas wave too. Y'all was not hitting that hoe. I was in school when they was hitting that hoe.
I think they kind of got a Dallas phase. They got a Houston phase a little bit, but it was a different kind of Houston phase.
They was hitting the Bobby and flexing and shit.
Yeah, they were, Texas was some dancing ass niggas during that time.
Yeah, y'all niggas ain't got no tum.
Now they got a little bit of Beat King for a little while.
Man, what a time.
They got a little B King, and they
It's finna just be the Reminisce pod in a minute. I'm gonna change the name. That's all we get up here to do is talk about how much you niggas didn't have a good time in your youth.
I was thinking about that too. Like, even when you play certain songs in certain environments, the capacity or ratio for how long the twerking lasts, it doesn't last as long as it used to. Like, if you see women, a certain song come on and they throw ass, it ain't really throwing ass for like the whole song like it used to be. They may throw ass for a couple seconds and then they go back to like on their phone.
Nah, because they be throwing ass like cutesy. They used to throw ass. It was a event.
We were also younger, so I mean that plays a role in it.
I don't know that these young niggas don't. I don't know what y'all kids doing. I don't be outside, so I'm speaking from just.
They on OnlyFans now, so they fucking for money.
You got to throw ass on there.
I mean, they throw ass on there, but they're getting paid for it.
Yeah, I just remember, like, in the youth, ass, like I said, you used to go to dance. Like, even if you didn't take shit home, like, you had a good night if you at least got a little ass on you. But they was in there to throw ass. I remember that. I'm old enough to, because I see a lot of this talked about on the internet. I'm very much so old enough for the look back test. I done passed a lot of look backs. That was my shit. Like, walk up, you can't even do that now. You can fuck around and go to jail. You walk up behind somebody, you got to tap them, put your ID out there. Hello, would you like to dance?
Is it okay if I touch you?
Yeah, fucking like, yeah, I touch your body. Yeah, we used to just go, you pull up your pants, and they used to throw it right in front of you, and like you get the little peek. Oh yeah, it's up.
That's because now they're doing choreographed dances.
Fuck all that.
And then we can't say, because we had it too. Ugh. It wasn't really my thing, but especially if you had a group of Atlanta niggas floating around, they had some fucking steps that they was doing in the club or whatever the case is. So.
Man,
to a degree, it's a LA thing too, because LA always had the niggas that's gonna try to do some sort of walk, and then they gonna hold hands and all that other stuff while they walk in. Especially
like you would have moments. There's nothing bad with that, but that just at some point somebody gonna cut their shit on, and then that shit cutting on is when it's supposed to happen.
I mean, I'll be honest, I get stiff. Certain songs come on, I get stiff because I want to look around who doing what.
Yeah,
I just want to see who doing what.
Like Juvenile gives you a good little startup entrance, so you could look and you could tell who's prepping. They used to prep, and that's when you fucking all right, man. It's out of that group. That one's prepping hard than a bitch. You could tell the ones that's gonna sit there and do that little bullshit, and then sit by themselves. But you saw the ones who was fucking the motherfucker running to the floor, and you take your chances, man. You get out there and get sunned if you want to, but it was a good day to lose. Fuck that.
Side note, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Biggest pet peeve and most annoying thing on earth. Nothing bugs me more on this earth.
It's gonna be good.
Than a room full of women. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, you might as well stay at home now. Yep. That's all I see on the internet. It's like it's a bunch of that.
I hate that. I think I hate that more than I hate wigs. And I hate wigs. So just to put that in a context, because those of you that know me know I fucking hate wigs. I can't stand wigs. Y'all lucky I don't be outside like that, because I really feel like just being a menace outside and just snatching wigs when I see them.
Okay, is it specifically like, because I've seen a little bit of this, is it just
all of them?
So which is worse, the mop joints that they just be plaiting on that motherfucker, or the ones with the baby hairs that look like drapes that come down where they look like Teen Wolf?
Both of them.
Yes.
Now, granted, I get that there are some wigs that I know it's a wig, but it doesn't look terrible. And it's mildly tolerable. I won't say that I like it, but it's tolerable. Especially if I know like you got dreads or something under. And I get it. Some women want to wear, I got locks or whatever, so I'm going to put this wig on because I don't feel like wearing my locks today.
Just be connected to the hat. Look like Macho Man Randy Savage.
Ooh, yes.
Welcome to you. You're looking real sexy, brother.
Let me tell you something.
You got like I'm 6'5".
I'd like to snap into your Slim Jim. Come on with me, Elizabeth. But yeah, I can't stand them. I think there are levels to the wig game. I think I hate the ones the most that, like, of course, when you can see the little net in the middle, the hood bitch wigs. I can't stand the hood.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anybody that's from fucking Memphis or the hood somewhere in Houston or somewhere in Louisiana where it's colored and or long, it's like if your wig is bigger than you, I didn't see some people, it's like your wig is thicker than you are. Why do you have that bullshit on your head? It annoys me. I can't. I just want to snatch it and just Petey Pablo that motherfucker. I can't. But a room full of those types of women and cameras everywhere. Get me out of here now.
Evacuate.
Yeah, my educated black man privilege kicks in and
Evacuate.
I get real bougie. That's the only time I'm gonna get bougie is when I'm like, I'm in a room full of niggas. All right, let me just stand over here and mind my business because this ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just.
I be wanting the word to get switched up. It just be like, you got one or two out of me. It just be like too much. It's just the tone. It's like a weird tone screech that like be fucking with my ears when there's too many at once.
It's like in the 2000s when you would like hear girls that kind of like talk like this. And I just can't like fucking like, oh my God, like what kind of fucking douchebag. Like
it's the other side of the spectrum.
It's the other side of the spectrum for
Yikes.
yeah, bitch, okay, yeah. That is the black equivalent of.
Wow, it's the Clovers and the Toros.
Fuck them both. Fuck them both. I can't. Point me in the direction of a live band lounge. I'm definitely unk status in that regard. Let me listen to some live music and people that can enjoy themselves in that regard. But anything that plays any music similar to what you opened the show with, and there's wigs, and there's not.
Before you weird niggas say any weird shit, just want you to know I'm always take the Clovers over the Toros, but I'm saying like we have to cut that A shit down a little bit. But I'm gonna work with a Toro. I'm gonna work with a Clover long before I work with a Toro.
I mean, all of us have spent a little bit of time at Dominguez at some point in time, so we've all dealt with the Toros.
I like how even if you didn't go to school out here, you did fuck around and figure that shit. Oh. You just somehow that happened. Oh yeah, y'all over there. Who in this? Whose house party is this? The biggest old niggas. Oh, okay, yeah. Cool. That's cool. I'm home on break. Somebody said pull up over here, and I'm here.
Yeah. We've all shout out to everybody that's ventured to Dominguez at least once for some reason.
Salute to David, nigga I used to work with, and that was one of our like big conversations. Like I used to talk about the HBCU experience. He immediately was like, "Well, what did y'all say to me?" And I was like, "I've heard." I was like, "All right, well, you get a pass."
I definitely, for a certain period of time, felt like Dominguez was California's or LA's black college.
That's
for a certain period of time. It transitioned after that, but for a certain period of time, yeah,
that's funny. I mean, my daddy went there, so like that already is a stamp for me, like for sure. Like yeah, like whenever he started, and it took him his tenure, and I give it at least 10 years after he left, whatever his influence was, and if they kept it up, then absolutely, because he is who he is, a staple in the fucking community.
Proudly,
love you, Pop.
Proudly.
Okay. Oh, but I had a hot take with this hip hop shit.
Okay.
How people talk about the GOATs and such. And I feel like I've had this hot take before, but y'all ain't been listening, so here it is again.
Okay.
You judge somebody by like their accolades, impact on hip hop, ability to rap, music, cultural, this, that, and the third. Besides the fact that this nigga probably personally doesn't give a shit, why do niggas not put Tyler in that conversation more? I feel like by all the metrics that you label somebody one of the baddest motherfuckers out here, why y'all niggas don't talk about Tyler enough?
Who was in Tyler's class? Because we're old enough to be at a certain age where you looked at people based on their XXL freshman class and you see who they were with.
Because I remember the nigga chewing roaches when I was still in college. And I know niggas like, this is weird, but like...
Yeah, I was in undergrad. I believe I was in undergrad when that happened. When did Youngers come out? That's a long ass time ago.
I don't know if they had him on that freshman class now. I'm looking at it.
They may not, but I'm saying like who came out and who would have been the freshman class for that year. His first year out was what, 06, 07?
Maybe.
As far as mainstream. He was already out before that. But him being mainstream and nominated for awards, that's 06 and 07.
I know a couple people that are like Tyler the Creator stands that'll be able to spit this fucking information.
Yeah, no. I greatly appreciate his contributions, but I ain't no stan.
But yeah, I've thought about that. And I'm just like, what the fuck is up with y'all?
Because I think it'll kind of depend on years.
Because you got Bastard in 09. So let's just even say like 09.
Really? Was it 09? I would say it was before that.
I think that.
So, I mean, look at that. Look and see who was the XXL freshman class for, say, 08.
LXL freshman class 08. The freshman class that could have been. I don't give a fuck about these motherfuckers. Not could have been, nigga. What is? Every freshman class covered since 07. All right, cool. Okay. Yeah, give me something to fucking work with here, guys. So 07's freshman class was wow. Saigon, Plies, Rich Boy, Lupe Fiasco, Boosie, Gorilla Zoe, Joel Ortiz, Crooked Eye, Papoose, Young Draw. Everybody here is pretty much successful in their own way. That was a decent class.
And Tyler wouldn't have fit in there.
09, we got pop up. Wale, B.O.B., Charles Hamilton, Asher Roth. I feel like that would have been all right. Slapped him in there.
He maybe could have been a part of that one.
Ace Hood, Currency, Kid Cudi, the next one.
Nah. But nah.
Corey Guns, Blue, Mickey Fax. Or maybe these are all 09 together. It just split up. So that's all 09 niggas. 2010, this doesn't work. 2010 is Cole, Nipsey, Wiz, OJ the Juice Man, Gibbs, Big Sean, J-Rock. I mean,
he could have been in that class. Or just after that class.
And then 2011 might have worked because 2011 is Meek, Crit, Sci-Hi, Lil Twist, Yellow Wolf, Fred the Godson, rest in peace, Mac Miller, YG, Lil B. If Lil B's there, he could have been there.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah, he could have been somewhere in those two.
Oh shit, Kendrick is 2011 and Diggy Simmons.
Okay, so yeah. Because I was going to say, depending on years and when they come out, would probably depend on like how they are considered, whatever the Mount Rushmore of a certain era.
Yeah.
Because, I say with Ross could be considered maybe a Mount Rushmore for a certain period of time. But it would be prior to Drake and all them because he was already out before then.
Yeah.
So I think, it depends on who's judging and creating the Mount Rushmore at that time and how they're looking at it, firstly. And then, like you said earlier, what criteria we're looking at. Because there's a lot of people that were supposed to be...
Y'all switched the criteria so fucking
They switched the criteria. But I think it is more of a popularity thing, of course. Because Drake should never be on anybody's... Mount Rushmore of anything. And that's not even just because I'm not a Drake fan. I like Drake in the beginning, but Drake to me, aside from him being a big star, hasn't really contributed much to the game changing. I would say the game changed for him, and that was because of Wayne. So Wayne should be up there before you put Drake.
Wayne for sure has to be on.
Wayne gave us him and Nicki for sure have the major careers that they've had, not just because of their talents, but because Wayne gave them the nod and Young Money and all that stuff and was helping them become who they became. So you can't be on the Mount Rushmore if somebody else helped create a lane for you, in my opinion. Ross did it on his own for the most part. So yeah, you could put a Ross up there. And Ross created lanes for Meek Mill and everybody else that was in Maybach Music. So, yeah, you can put Ross up there because he created a lane. What lane did Drake create?
I don't know. I know it's this like sing-songy, whiny shit. I know that's like...
Yeah, he created light-skinisms to come back. That's pretty much it. He brought white privilege into black music. That's basically what he did.
I see you, white boy.
Yeah.
Wearing knockers with no draws,
Right.
white boy.
Got that HBL, says Ross. But other than that, I won't say he's contributed much to the game. He's just been successful.
I think he could have. I think in the beginning, there was this idea of like between him and even Kendrick, like this idea of, even though they're not the first to do it, but I would give them like a resurgence of the hip hop where you didn't have to be, I guess, quote unquote, a street nigga. Like it was just like regular nigga bars.
But their whole class is that. Not their whole class, but as far as them three. Yeah. That's who J. Cole was. J. Cole did the same thing. Well, yeah, Drake did the same thing. Kendrick did the same thing, but he had street ties. But he was just letting you know, I got street ties, but I'm not a street dude. I'm not a gangster. I'm the more thoughtful, intellectual nigga that's surrounded by gangbangers just because I live in this area.
Yeah, that became my bias because, like, Drake, I think obviously Drake, and I know this is the talent in and of itself.
Drake.
Yeah, he had always, like, the ability to give you, like, cool bops. Like, it's shit that you wanted to play and bounce to. And the more they progressed between even Cole and fucking Kendrick, it was like shit that you clearly had to like maybe sit down and like digest and like meaningful bars. And, I know niggas go back and forth about whether or not they like that. I like that shit. I obviously do like some shit that I can bop into the club too.
I say more Kendrick for that because Cole tried to have a little bit of the Joe Budden approach to where it's like, I'm going to try to have a popular song, but I'm going to actually slip in bars in there as well.
That makes sense.
Kendrick was making you think from Section 80. Like, it's just...
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That was just his thing, playing with words and making sure that, people are going to think a little bit. The subject matter is going to be deeper than the normal, so... No flip to any of that. But, again, I can see... Cole has evolved and created lanes for other people. Kendrick, although he didn't create TDE, he helped put TDE on the map and open the doors for massive amounts of other people to come through or be re-recognized, so to speak. Drake hasn't really done that.
Yeah, I don't know who
He's featured, and he's featured with people.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know they
but
jump on his ass for that. Like he'll feature somebody, he'll come and grab your song, or like if you got a popping thing, he'll come and put a feature on it. But that's always said is like a, I don't know, like a stepping off point for him. But the artists themselves never necessarily. How much of it is a responsibility for an artist to like bring somebody along like that, or is like just a feature from I'm the best and I gave you a.
I think it kind of depends on the intention, because I mean, if you look at that, you got to look at who he learned the game from. He was brought up under Wayne and Birdman. How did Wayne get big? Fucking mixtape Wayne. I'm jumping on anybody's fucking
For
beat,
sure.
and I'm
beating your motherfucking ass.
right. So it's kind of the same concept to a degree. So I can understand him taking that approach based on the people that helped usher him in and tutor him until he became who he was going to become. Or say, for instance, now, maybe for the last however many years, but for the most part, Busta's career has been to help usher new people in. Like, you a new rapper, sure, I'll hop on your remix, or sure, I'll hop on a song for you. I'm not really focused 100% on my personal project, but just because I want to be an elder statesman that shows love to the young people, I'll do features and songs with you and help improve the song. But it's really just to keep my skills sharp, but also give you a nod to do your thing.
I see Bus is always to me like one of those fucking, like you said, like a ballpark of somebody who obviously, niggas love the money, they love the fucking, the business aspect and all the other shit, but it's like, I respect this art form. Like, I respect this craft, the way that a nigga who fucking, I don't know, makes statues, respect statue making, and if you're a baker, you respect baking, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I always put Bus in that, like, old iron sharpens iron category. Like, I'm on here because I like an elder. Like, I see something in this motherfucker, and I'm going to come up here and, like,
right.
Yeah, so.
Or you can be like how 50 tried to do. 50 tried to give other people a platform to make a whole bunch of money and get on as well. He
put them in the motherfucking shows.
He put them in the room, and he put them in the opportunity to do something big. But per his words, they was just being lazy as fuck.
I mean, per Yayo's words, because I remember I forget what interview that was, but Yayo was like, I'm not as big as this nigga because I don't work as hard as this nigga. He's like, this motherfucker would be up at 5, go to the gym, and next thing you know, he's in the studio. We're still fucking waking up and like, smoking or some shit. And I was like, that was cool. That was cool to hear. Like, he's not just a dickhead to be a dickhead. It's like, we have such an outrageous opportunity to be, to change our fucking lives. Yeah, nigga, like, let's get to it.
I could appreciate Yayo at least taking accountability for that, which shows growth on his end. Yayo's still Yayo.
Yeah, he's
to
like,
this day, but he can definitely let you know, like, nah, one, I'm gonna play my position. Two, we was fucking up, myself included, and fifth tried to do what he could to help us out, but we was out here fucking up.
I think I'm gonna butcher the story, but it was something like when he was doing the G Unit clothes or whatever, and they were
shoes.
It was like all you niggas wearing some different shit.
We get paid to wear these, and none of you niggas are wearing the shit we get paid to wear.
What the fuck?
Yeah, well, the contract's done anyway, so y'all niggas ain't getting no more checks for this. But little stuff like that. His purpose was to bring his people with him and put them on, to give them a platform to do their own thing and make their own money and everybody get paid. Kind of Rockefeller-ish to a degree. And they shit the bed. Or you can Rick Ross it. Ross created Maybach Music, one, to build up my own shit and make more money, but two, give y'all a platform where you can do your own thing. We ain't got to be no super group. We ain't even got ties like that. I just want to create a platform where I can be known for my label having dope artists and they do their own thing from there. So, I think it kind of goes down to, like, what's your intention for hopping on tracks or signing other people?
That reminds me of I was listening to I'm still not finished, but I was listening to the Bruce interview on Breakfast Club. Good interview. Bruce said a lot of cool shit. Salute to the elders. But he was discussing kind of like that kind of vibe in, say, like the comedy arena, like dealing with clubs and dealing with black people. There's like always this air of, and this is an old adage that you deal with us, and there's always that, like, oh, that's family. And that's this, that, and the third, but it like doesn't translate to business properly. Whereas you might, not trust these motherfuckers over here, but like white people do business by the book, to the T. And if you, understand business, it's maybe an easier transition to work with that because you know where the lines is. Like treating everybody like family blurs the lines. And I don't know. I was like going back and forth with that because I was like, you do want to, if you have a relationship with somebody, you would like it to be as nice as possible, but also like, nigga, this is business. So like, these are the lines and boundaries, and don't fuck this up. Like trying to be like, oh, this is family, and where the what was that shit? Even that shit on fucking this is drug shit, but that shit on fucking Frank Lucas and shit. Like, why are you wearing all these loud ass suits, bro? Like, we have an opportunity here to fucking make this shit amazing. You niggas up here partying and fucking around, acting like buffoons.
You bringing attention to yourself.
Yeah, but you
can't
fucking up in the business side.
That's the sucky part, because like no matter what you want to do to be able to like support somebody or give them a platform or build them up or whatever the case is, you can't control their decisions.
Yeah.
You can't control how they respond to the platform that you help them build or whatever the case is.
I remember this episode. He finna bite her whole shit off.
Oh yeah, I remember that as well.
Sorry guys.
I watch it on a different platform, but
anime is deterring me real quick.
only because you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you finna just
eat your mama.
And it was a trip when you didn't see this coming. Like you just thought this was gonna be some like super passionate shit. She's getting her whole fucking.
This is my son.
Look at them. They're doing monster. They're doing the slow pan. Like it's really some powerful shit. You're like love and happiness win the day. And you might have watched some fucking My Hero shit by this time. You think it's fucking super. They put the guns down. Everybody super casual. Hey son, lovey dovey. Blah 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 blah. And that nigga said, bitch. They ain't even got no head.
You not my mama no more.
That's crazy to love something that much. He cut her whole. I lied, guys. He didn't eat. He just sliced her, and now he's gonna eat. Yeah, cut her up though, like a fucking steak. Yeah, that's crazy. Sorry, y'all. We
get your ass back to the house.
Pretty much, man. Because that's. Boy, humans would be so fucked if shit like this was just outside.
Would be. We are.
Oh, did you watch the shit called yeah, fuck you guys. We're fucking detouring. Did you watch that shit called You got it, nigga. Hip hop. Yeah. You get it, hip hop and fucking, love people. Did you watch 3 Body Problem?
I've seen it, but not watched it.
Oh man. If you guys
I think I have it saved to watch on here. I just haven't sat and actually watched it yet.
I don't know how much I'm about to spoil however this conversation goes, but holy shit, yeah, 3 Body Problem is like, I didn't think I was going to be into it that much, but given the fact that like space is space and like the way they do this shit, I'm like, that could really happen. Like aliens just being, like aliens are so far advanced on this show, like they fuck us up from a distance. Like they're not on Earth yet. They just have figured out so much shit that they're like, all right, we're going to still pull. And here's another thing. Humans being humans fuck the whole shit up. Like aliens were gonna come here and coexist and be chill, and humans just being fucking dummies. Like we're talking to them niggas and we're like, hey, by the way, like it's a whole race of like super advanced motherfuckers who don't even understand shit like lying and sarcasm. Like they're super literal. So they're talking to these niggas back and forth, and the nigga's like, he's telling them a story of like Red Riding Hood or whatever, and they're like, hey, why did the fuck? This is how like you just think like people like you always think we're the smartest motherfuckers in the room. Never caught this shit. It's like, well, why did they let the wolf in? They obviously knew, and it was like, well, no, the wolf tricked them. And it was like, what's the trick? And it was like, well, the wolf lied. And it was like, is that what you guys do on your planet? Do you guys lie? And he was like, well, sometimes. And they're like, we have to think about this. We don't trust y'all. And then immediately just it goes fucking ape shit. They send some shit that covers the planet. They know everything we doing. They've been watching shit. And it's like, nigga, all you had to do is tell us that the fucking planet, like, that we just don't lie. But before that, this Asian woman, like, it's like, 40 years ago or whatever, she's a super duper physicist and figures out how to communicate with fucking space. And it was that theory I think I talked about last time, like that Black Forest theory. And they like message her and it's like, hey, don't come out here. Like, don't say another fucking word. And she just She had a really tough life, but in her infinite wisdom, she was like, come here and fucking fix us and just doom the fucking planet. It's wild. I don't know, man. This is a wild ride. And if y'all think fucking, I don't know. To me, it's always like, be a good person because fucking space is outside. They'll beat the shit out of you. You don't know what the
fuck is out there. I mean, oddly enough, it makes me think of fucking Undead Unluck, like in the last few episodes. So like one of, have you watched it as much as you can to where you understand the premise of the show?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the little book that hands out the consequences or rewards depending on how you achieve the certain things, Armageddon or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is like you failed. So one of the consequences is they add something to the consciousness of Earth.
Yeah.
An understanding. And like one of it, how they set it up or slid it in there, it's like, yeah, so now the consequences is that human beings are going to know about these other things and this other galaxy is created and they're just like little Earths all throughout this galaxy. And now human beings know of these things called aliens. They didn't know aliens existed. We just literally created aliens now, but they're going to think that aliens existed forever and they're finally going to make contact and come here to fuck the world up.
Mm-hmm.
And they come down here and then one of them ends up like completely obliterating them and running them off.
Yeah.
And they never make contact with Earth again. But it's like, it's funny how in the cartoon that could literally be something that has happened where we think something has always existed, but it's really new in the grand scheme of things. And somebody just saved our ass from having to deal with the real repercussions of it.
I think about that shit so much. Like every time I watch a show or some shit and it's some secret society or secret fucking government thing, I think about that shit so often about how much shit we don't know, or like something stupid like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Like how often have you walked by a motherfucker who could like end your shit and has like upended small countries? You never know this motherfucker. They work at a coffee shop and they just have a regular existence when they want to, and then they get like a call on their special phone and they will go and end shit and they know things. Like you just walking around here being like motherfuckers like my FBI agent's watching my computer. Fuck that. There's niggas who like no shit.
That makes me think of people that are like schizophrenic or having some sort of psychotic breakdowns.
Yeah.
It's like normally they have
them motherfuckers tapping in.
Yeah, they tapped into different frequencies because normally they have these delusions about something that's government related, people watching them, other different types of agencies that have information on this, and this person is that, and that person is that. And to a degree, it's like that doesn't make any sense. But some of the stuff they say sometimes, if you've ever like really been around them often and had conversations, you'd be like, hey, yeah, I know you kind of off your nut, but you might be on to something that the rest of us just won't allow ourselves to embrace and understand.
That makes you think of a couple things. One, I had a conversation like earlier, and it was like about dreams, right? And it was like a conversation around like how Doctor Strange in the movie, where it's like dreams are you living out your other selves' actual lives, and like it presents to you as a dream because we're all connected across the multiverse and shit. So at that added into like multiversal theory or whatever, you're like, damn, that shit could be a thing. And then it was some shit I posted the other day, and it's not new to me, but I never pay attention to it, that you can go on like the CIA like website and like they just kind of let you know like, hey, this is the thing we've been studying, but nobody gives a shit. But they like discovered like, no, like fifth dimensions is a thing. They've done like psychic tests and shit, and like some of this shit is not fucking like sci-fi. Like, no, we've done this shit and figured out it worked, and we just be out here like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, hey, yo, like these motherfuckers, like some of the shit that sounds sci-fi-ish is not so much. So going back to like the fucking schizophrenic person, I always think like anytime I've ever worked with them, I always have that thought like, one, how much of this is them tapping into other frequency, how much of this might actually be whatever. And then you have those moments where if you ever worked with anybody who's like has like a severe mental illness, you know, whether sometimes it be meds, and even sometimes it's even, to me, sometimes different when they're not on meds and they have like just a regular lucid moment. Like they register to a degree. Like I remember when I wasn't myself. It's, I don't know, both of those things be like just it's interesting to watch. It's like sad a lot of times too, but it's like when they're lucid and they remember what it's like to not have it all together, and then when they're not all together, you see them sometimes trying to gather it all back. And I'm like, is in the context of this conversation, like how much of that is if we're just going out there? If you were to think about it in that context, are you really like ill, or is it just, if I put too much frequency on a fucking thing that can't handle it, it's gonna overload. So if we're going off the fact that you're tapped in, you might not be like off your rocker. You're getting too much feedback. If it's like there's 5 dimensions, we're third dimensional creatures, you just got some fifth dimension signal, it's gonna fry your shit.
Yeah, I mean that makes me think of like bad trips with mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
Essentially, a bad trip is just the psychedelics opened up a part of your brain, and you were not in the right mental space to be able to handle what it opened up. It's like we use 10% of our brain?
Well, that's that little like old wives' tale or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, the old wives' tale that we use 10-15% of our brain. So you use a psychedelic, which opens up another 5 to 10% of your brain.
Crack that motherfucker open.
Right. And so essentially like Pandora's box. And I am not prepared for or have the capacity to withstand how much this motherfucker has been opened to the point to where it's like overloading a computer. Because essentially that's what our brains are. Our brains are supercomputers. So I'm overloading this computer with information to the point to where it just it shuts down. It starts doing a whole bunch of screwy shit on the monitor, and then it just fucking crashes, and it starts having a little bit of a mind of its own. That's how I kind of look at it with some people with some sort of psychotic break or mental health struggle. It's like your brain opened up in some areas that you were not ready or able to open up, and it just exposed you to some shit. Which to a degree, if I'm not mistaken, like you mentioned the CIA stuff, the CIA has confirmed, like, yeah, we live on multiple planes. We've studied, and certain scientists have discovered that, there's multiple realms and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. We don't necessarily know how to tap into it easily, but essentially we exist in the Matrix and all these other different things. We just don't talk about it. It's not common knowledge, but it's not hidden if you really look for it. The government has discovered that these things do exist.
That makes you think, like, today we're having the weird cast, guys. I be having the thoughts. I be thinking that shit I post in my stories. I be thinking these shits. I be needing spaces to get them off. Our DMs are nuts. That makes you think sometimes when I look at, like, media, period, like, things like The Matrix, things like fucking Stranger Things, whatever, The Thing, whatever fucking shit.
The Upside Down.
Yeah, all of that shit. Like, how much of that is, like, if you're the government and you want people not to panic, but this is like a powder keg, we cannot hold this off for long. Like, you start throwing out Godzilla type shit. If it's like all this shit exists, but we got to ease these motherfuckers into it. If we like tap the door that we don't know how to close, so we should probably like I guess the easiest way is like in some form of fashion. If you put it in media, you end up having conversations like this where we could trick ourselves into going like, I mean, you never know what could happen. That way, one day when these niggas start poking and prodding, and you in the middle of a conversation, and it just get a weird fucking light, and a split happen in the middle of the sky, you're like, what the fuck is that? And it's like, oh, it's happening. All that shit is not bullshit that they put on TV. There's a 50,000 foot monster spitting out fucking electricity in my backyard. All right, it was right. You got it.
I mean, they do say that movies are ways to desensitize us from certain things that can have the potential of being true. And that could be similar to what dreams are, because a lot of dreams play out like movies. It's just when you're in a sleep state, your brain has the ability to unlock way more potential than you can utilize when you're in an awake state. So it can throw all kinds of information at you while you're asleep and process it differently than you can process it when you are awake. So it's possible to like even maybe our subconscious is releasing things for us to expose us to realities that we don't even know actually exist or can exist.
Would you rather some of it be true or all of it be true? Because I spend a lot of times watching all the crazy movies trying to like predict my level of survivability in this moment.
Yeah, I'm not surviving.
One, predict my level of survivability, and then two, decide would I really fucking want to have to deal with all this shit. Because zombie apocalypses, I don't be understanding what the fucking like is stink in this motherfucker. Like,
It depends on what type of zombie apocalypse we're talking about.
like Transformers, I stay with that. I'd be like, I'm always
These
going
big ass things destroying buildings in the city and knocking stuff over.
I'm finna pull up. I want a Bumblebee. I'm gonna be the best friend. Let's go find the Allspark. But you might catch me with that. This shit here, like vampires pop up.
Fucking possessed, vampire, demonic.
Yeah, it ain't the fun ones.
I'm not super religious, but I do think there are certain types of things that can possess somebody's body and put them in a certain frame of mind.
Well, yeah, I don't always think that shit is like super like on different scales. Like if you put it like a Ghostbusters, that shit. Like them niggas science the spectral realm and shit. Like it's Ghost and Jesus, and it's like, well, you could do that, but you could also say these niggas are on a different plane and they're trying to. You could science that motherfucker too.
Yeah,
Like, you know, I mean, I haven't gotten extra pro black on y'all in a while, but like that's. Everybody else got that. We're the only motherfuckers who got all the tools and keep trying to say them shit separate. The motherfuckers that was kicking it thousands of years ago that had it all figured out, they knew that it was together. It was one thing. But,
right.
you know, argue with your mammy.
you just have to have a certain type of connection to it, which I think that's a real legitimate part of it, whether we talk about dreams or whether we talk about psychotic breaks of some sort or we talk about spirituality or religiosity, things of that nature. I know we've talked about, especially as Black Americans, how we are so disconnected from things just because we were forced to be disconnected from it. And the way of life in America has definitely coddled us and enabled us to disconnect from other spiritual aspects and traditions and ancestral planes and all this other shit. I think a lot of what we understand today comes from that lifestyle, and dreams may be opportunities, or psychedelics may be opportunities for us to connect to things that we were connected to hundreds of years ago, that we connected to it easily. But we're so, we're connected to bullshit that kind of numbs us to the point to where we don't have the ability to connect the way that our ancestors did generations ago. So those type of things, maybe my brain is in a certain space to where it can connect to other things that we used to connect to 4, 5, 6 generations ago.
I'm fucking with that, especially, if you look at some of these fucking, they be cool pages, but they got weird names. It'd be like, Horus God 0010, and it's like there's no pictures on the page because you think the fucking FBI is in his backyard. And it's always these grainy fucking memes, but it'll be like cool. It'll be something wild. Then it'll be something really scientific about the pineal gland, but they never tell you where the article from. And you'd be like, oh, it's blocking our signal. And then it'd be like, a fucking meme of Horus with laser eyes. Like, why did you put this here? As a nigga who makes crazy fucking memes, I'd be like, yo, nigga, like this could just be information. You could have really just fucked the game up with this. And now I have to fucking, it'd be like them and then like, deep dark alchemy. And it's like, why don't y'all ever tell nobody where y'all got this information from? I'm trying to put this shit together through statuses. You sound nuts. You don't have to make this sound as nuts as it sounds. You could break this shit down like a regular nigga.
It's if they have the mental capacity to be able to do that.
Yeah, you niggas, like, you don't have to be as cryptic. Like, the occult is secret. This is an Instagram pussy. Like, this is public information.
But I think that's the kind of like the tricky part. Like certain people, they're teetering on the line between sanity and insanity. It's like you start to learn so much to where, or be exposed to so much to where it drives you insane. So it's like you could articulate this if you were still on the sane side of things, but you've teetered over to the insane side of things. So now, although you're trying to explain it, you're not explaining it well, and then it makes you look fucking nuts. And then it discounts you. That's
why you gotta have balance, man. Because like Socrates and them was cool niggas, but they was having some sex. I feel like if you just out here and whenever you see the motherfucker in the fucking movies and shit, and he crashing out, that's because he just been in a cellar reading all the time. Tony Stark is a hero, not just because he's fucking super genius. Tony gonna have him a little sex, get his mind right, get him a little drink. Has some regular shit, and then he gets to the end of the world. You gotta have some balance, my boy. That shit'll kill you.
So is that why we're having all these like existential, philosophical pages and posts popping up these days, and everybody wants to be pseudo spiritual and somewhat a mental health coach and this, that, and the other, blah blah blah, because we have so much OnlyFans?
You know what? There might be a correlation there. I don't know what it is yet.
We are way less accepting of the stereotypical white Christian misogynistic norm, and we're way more forward thinking and open and accepting of things being different and non-conventional to the point to where we're becoming smarter because we're also
y'all kind of forward thinking. Y'all be grabbing bits and pieces. That's my only shit. Y'all be grabbing the shit that y'all like and not leaving that everything got a cost to it.
we found different ways to enable each other to do some.
Yeah, y'all be taking this and be putting this over here, but you got to grab what's with that. It's a thing that's attached to it. They locked in together. That's balance. That's some other spiritual concept. I'm not even like the best with the words of the spiritual shit, but I get the concept. You don't get something for nothing. There's a price in this world. Are y'all, what's up with all y'all? Are y'all as witches and fucking Wiccans and spiritual whatever? Y'all understand, nigga? That's a
spiritual goddess.
Yeah, that's a principle in magic, nigga. You don't get something for nothing. So that motherfucker's not just out here opening portals. You got to pay for that shit.
You have to earn the right to be called Merlin.
All that shit. Merlin probably out here, but the price that nigga had to pay for whatever the fuck he do. Merlin always paying the price in the movies. It's always some shit. And y'all don't even fuck. I remember I made some shit, and I'm really disappointed in y'all. Everybody who said they love cartoons and Disney shit, because y'all don't even fuck with the OG, like the best Merlin. Hickatus, y'all was not even outside, boy. Like, Archimedes. Y'all don't know who the fuck Archimedes is. Y'all ain't never watched The Sword in the Stone? That's a classic, boy. Ward. I can't wait to have a son to call it Ward. Y'all think, yeah, I'm going to call my son Ward. Just so I'm going to yell it at embarrassing times. That motherfucker be at school think you finna get some.
But let's also leave it to Beaver, so you got to be careful with that one.
I know what I'm going to do mine, because I'm going to get the outfit. I'm going to be an embarrassing fucking parent. Pick that nigga up, you know, because niggas start to feel themselves and they get to like, I knew when I felt myself, like 15, 16, you playing whatever sport, you going to be out, because, you know, you want to be out front spitting because you want people to see that you got it. Well, I'm going to pull up, Ward! And I'm going to have that orange outfit on with a little, I don't even got a gut, like, I'm going to fill that motherfucker up so it's swinging.
With a Kangol and a toothpick?
Nah, he had the little bowl cut and like the big stash. I'll cut this motherfucker off to pay that out. By then, whoever then gave me the motherfucker, you sold in now. So you got to deal with this. Oh, you got your beard. Shut up. it's over with now, baby. Like,
I'm pulling up like Spice Adams.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm prepare to be fucking sick of me. Over with. Oh, that made me think when I thought like the parenting shit. You know, therapy thought. Boom, boom. Speaking of like forward thinking always means like non-patriarchal, and y'all be throwing other words around, but y'all be really patriarchal. And I thought about that this week, and I've thought about that for the last couple weeks, because as I'm, you know, more of a therapist and doing my therapist-y thing, I noticed that like, not even just in mine, like other sessions or other shit that I see on the internet, is, and this is not just a shot for shot's sake, but I think it's something niggas could probably like think about, is how much women in general, but like moms play in like patriarchy and like how they push that on their kids, specifically their sons, and not like necessarily in like a evil or malicious way, but some of the things that we sit on the internet and like fight about, like emotions and like what you end up suffering from, or what you say y'all suffer from. That's something I suffer from. I'm not saying that facetiously, but like what you suffer from in relationships, not paying attention, that you push that on your son for him to do to somebody else later. Like, it's not a bunch of dads I see all the time telling their sons not to cry, not to show, or this is not important enough to be sad about. I see moms do it a lot. Like, I find myself correcting a lot of mothers, like, no, like, this is okay to let him, you know, whatever. If he's doing too much, we work on it from there, but we're not going to stop him from expressing. We're going to, you know, build from here, see where that's coming from his point of view, and then go, is this big a deal? Whoop, doop, doop. But we're not going to instill that crying is, and I just see that a lot. And I know a lot of it from them comes from a space of like preparing him, you know, you prepare a motherfucker at 8 for the impending doom he's going to face at 21, because you understand what black men go through when you walk out the door. And I find that to be a weird parallel when we having these relationship talks and motherfuckers try to downplay what niggas talk about they go through outside, but y'all are raising y'all sons to be warriors because you know what the fuck you got to face outside. So why would you not give that same grace to your nigga or his father?
I won't even say they're raising them to be warriors. I think you're raising your children to be traumatized, essentially, because you're raising them based on generalizations and stereotypes. Now, one, you're going to raise your child to be aware of the certain things that you experienced. And there's a lot of, if we stick with the stereotype of women being single parents, a lot of y'all have not parsed through and made peace with the decisions that you make in the environments that you've chose to be around, and that's the formative knowledge that you're going to pass on to your child. So if I'm teaching my son how to be a man based off the standards of the men that I've been around positively and negatively in my life, I don't even understand if that's the real version of man that I would like him to be. From both ends of the spectrum, on one end you could have, some woman that's in apartments and she raising her son to be apartment nigga, basically. Because that's what you've known, that's what you've been around, that's what my daddy was, that's what your daddy is, that's who I date, the whole 9 yards. So I think you're supposed to be a man based on the niggas that I see in the apartments. Mm-hmm. And on the other end, I can be raising my child to assimilate into whiteness, another extreme. Like the stereotypical, dress and conduct yourself in a certain manner that's going to be acceptable to white American society and assimilating into the American dream and all that other stuff, right? Because that's what I've surrounded myself with, or that's the things that I did to survive, so that's what I'm going to teach my child to survive. So sometimes I don't think we look at ourselves to see how we were raised, what we've gravitated towards, what we've been influenced by, and realize that's the version of quote unquote man that I'm going to teach my sons, nephews, the whole 9 yards to be.
God, y'all kicking my ass. Every day it's a new dating show on TV.
Oh, I don't.
Turn it off.
But even like say with that, the men that are on this show, although they're not black men, but the men that are on this show are going to portray a version of themselves based on the environment they were raised in, based on the men that raised them to be that way, or the women that raised them to be that way.
Yeah.
So we put these certain narratives on men, and at some point they are deciding and coming into understanding like, no, that actually wasn't helpful for me. That's actually not who I am. That actually hasn't helped me learn how to be a man at all, or at least not a healthy, happy, positive, thoughtful man, or whatever the case is. And they start to come into that understanding, and now I have to unlearn all the healthy shit that you taught me. And it may not even be because you just didn't know what the fuck you were doing, but you didn't do your own self-work, so you didn't know how to help me do my self-work.
Yeah. I would say that I think besides just the whole like earlier thing of like patriarchy thing, I do think that there's a what am I trying to say? Not a stigma, but there's always just obviously absent parent is not the best. Obviously, like you want to be around, but there is like a thing. There is, and I'm noticing this a whole lot more. Like being in the actual space of working with people, like in their homes, is like just because you were there, and it doesn't mean that you're like terrible at it, but the idea that just because you're there and present that you're doing an amazing job is not true. Like that just to be around, that there's not anything that you can build off of or do differently or completely stop doing it all. Mm-hmm. Like doing your best is fine, but, don't ever be too much to go get some coaching or to figure some shit out. Because if the fucking, if the touchdown is this way and the best I could do is run fucking sideways, like.
Right. Did I assess if my best was really good enough for the environment, or was I willing to change my best to be able to improve it in some capacity? I may not have been, and that's definitely something that you may really, really have to look through. It could for sure be beneficial. I mean, that makes me think about you mentioned Bruce interview earlier, and him talking about him not meeting his dad until he was an adult because mom told a lie and a different narrative of who this person was. And really, it was like, I get older and realize it was you. You were the problem. So now I grew up not knowing who this man was and having some hatred and resentment towards this man because you didn't do your own personal work. So you've shaped me to be a particular type of man because of your own personal traumas and bad decisions. And I have to end up doing extra work myself when I get older, especially coming into the understanding that you set me up for failure to a degree.
Yeah, because I've been kind of like nickel and diming that fucking interview, but I did reach that part, and he was honest. He was like, he's like, I went and met him, years ago, and he was a nice enough dude, cool dude, and it wasn't so much of a, like just an admission of, oh, it's okay that he wasn't there, but it was kind of an adult thought of like, it's very hard to be, I'm assuming, in the house with somebody who's fucking terrible. And he's like, I love my mom, but she's a fucking dickhead. And I don't know, I think that conversation is good. I think that obviously there's a type of dog shit nigga who like always uses that as an excuse to not be around their kids. And nobody's fucking trying to fucking like champion that, but it is a fucking narrative that like it is a truth to it, and that if you're not creating like a healthy space, even from a co-parenting situation, like, no man, like you fucking, it's hard I would assume it's hard for somebody to be there. I'm not in that situation, and I know everybody goes, I would do whatever, and it's like niggas be saying that shit. Like, you've never been in that situation, my boy. So especially, given the fact that having seen parents who aren't fully prepared for the job that this shit is not, an easy gig. So I don't know. I feel like y'all be just talking about situation like very lightly with no nuance, and that's nuts.
Yeah.
Nostrils.
Pause.
And we're back.
I mean, even that, could you live in that reality, in that world?
I think some of these
post-apocalyptic, there's fucking monster, alien, human-eating demon thingies floating around.
That would suck, but some of these I feel like I'd be okay because I'm real good at minding my business. But that particular one, I feel like it don't matter. You're gonna get offed because there's just nothing to combat that shit except a little laser gun. So I'm not really big on the post-apocalyptic shit. That shit sucks. I would like to have some amenities with my fucking evil monster shit outside. I don't know what that looks like though. Like My Hero looks chaotic, but TV is cool.
I mean, if you got tons of different heroes with tons of different powers, and human beings have the ability to possibly be born as one of those people, they just evolved. That's essentially like a variation of X-Men.
Yeah, I just would like a little bit of odds in my favor. Like something.
If I gotta be stuck as being one of the humans, can I at least, something to protect myself?
Yeah, this shit right here, just like, this almost like, this is Attack on Titan-ish. It just, we fucked every which way, left and right. It's not enough sex in the world to make me be happy with this. This sucks. It's cool to watch, but
it has its benefits. They still living a decent life. They was having fucking go-kart race and all that shit, enjoying themselves. You just, had to be wary of this invisible thing that could eat you if you come across you.
And they did that shit, and it was fucking just sticky eating.
Yeah, it just dissolves you.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I see that shit online a lot, like which anime world would you want to live in, or do you think you could survive in? And I was like, boy, this shit cool to watch, but y'all know good and fucking well, like, be dead as a motherfucker in majority of these worlds.
I say 70% of these motherfuckers, you are not going to enjoy yourself. That's why it looks the way it looks.
Very quickly. This shit is over with, nigga.
Like, fucking Fallout. Fallout's TV show came out and fucking
over with.
Could you live in the Fallout world?
I live in that vault. You motherfuckers want to go outside? No, I'm never going outside. Motherfuckers be like, have my whole family in this fucking vault. You fucking right.
I've been in this vault for 200 years.
Yeah, I ain't never going outside. It's fucking dinosaur people outside. That's crazy than a motherfucker. Yeah, nah.
You wouldn't want to be a ghoul and just live forever as long as you got that fucking medicine. You can just do whatever.
I just always feel like they be looking like they in pain. Like, it's cool to have the powers and shit, but I'm greedy, man. I want to be like, word to the fucking Morlocks and shit, but no, nigga, I want to be one of the X-Men. I don't want to be one of you.
I don't want to be no low level. I want to be a mega level mutant.
Yeah, he just looked like a fish boy. That's it. Wait a minute, dog. It's a nigga upstairs that can throw a building with his mind, and you mean I gotta sit down here with the tentacle hands, and that's it? Hey, fuck this. Yo, time out. Wait a minute.
The best I could do is some fetish porn on fucking OnlyFans.
Yeah, this hoe up here, I can't touch nobody but could throw a fucking bulldozer. Girl, shut up. Yeah, I'm just down here in the sewer. I stink. Yeah, nah. I gotta be one of the cool niggas. I'm sorry. This nigga can build shit with his hands. This nigga could just absorb energy super strong, shooting it out his hands, future traveler and shit. And now I'm just down here next to poop, just floating in the fucking water with this woman with the eye patch who got beat up by the woman who could throw the weather. Hand to hand, just fucking Storm stomped that ass. That's crazy as hell. Yeah, nah, yo. That's put me, you know, I gotta be up top. I don't even need an omega level, but give me some cool shit. I rock with that. I'd be a teleporter nigga. I just need something practical that I can use in my day-to-day life. I would take the fucking supreme power shit, but you can just give me some cool shit. I'm fucking with it. Yeah.
Sister gave her life, gave her body for you to be able to live.
Yeah, this is crazy.
You got to live in her body for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's wild, yo. Like, yeah, there's some other shit. Like, it's a lot of thoughts in this and shit. And, like, I would tell Chardonnay, let me go. Don't put me in your body, bro. Let me, you know, let me because I gotta wake up and,
You get to be with everybody fucking on your sister?
Ugh. Yeah, I'll be mad as I could never do this. Yeah, don't even. Yeah, let me stay a stump. I did my best. Yeah, fuck. Oof, nope.
Chardon gives you her body. You like, I'm immediately gay.
Yeah,
I like women.
Yeah, I'm a stud. Too.
And I'm doing the sticking.
Yep.
You doing the bending? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing the bending.
Big. That would be so fucked up. I would cut Chardon's hair.
Terrible.
I would make Chardon the fucking stuff.
Terrible. You can't even let her be an attractive femme.
We gonna be out.
You gonna have her looking like you.
I would be outside. I would be looking dumb as fuck.
Terrible.
We gonna be out in the apocalyptic shit in Jabos.
That is the word.
I'm gonna be outside fighting monsters in a khaki suit.
Word to the wise, Chardon. Don't ever. Never give your body to this nigga.
Nah, yo. If it's supposed apocalyptic shit and they like to save his life, you have to. Nah, just.
But what if it's reversed? Would you give her your body? And how would you want her to treat it?
Yeah, and she just gotta, you know, she'll be strong. She just gotta figure it out. At that point, you know, it's out of my hands. I'm on the other side, but don't put that responsibility on me.
What if she decided to be gay and be the bottom?
That's her life. I'm an attractive nigga, man. Like, you know, it makes. I mean, you know, I understand. You know, but I didn't do that. I'm on whatever.
I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm out of here. This ain't got shit to do with me. My brain in a soup bowl somewhere. Like, it's over with. Fuck it, it's over with.
Hey, TJ a power bottom now. Like, no, that's his sister. His sister got his consciousness.
Yeah, she got to say it though. She got to really like put it out there. Don't fuck up my legacy. She got to announce it. Don't just fucking act like don't act like the world came to an end and I just snapped under the. Well, you know, the world came to an end. You can snap under that type of pressure. Y'all niggas be going to jail for a month. And, you know,
they going to see their boyfriend.
Pretty much, y'all be come back with a mixtape and a relationship. So, you know, whatever. The world came to an end and there's demons outside. There's much less shit for you niggas to worry about. Look at this nigga haircut. That's crazy to worry about.
Terrible.
I don't know how. I don't got much more. I don't even think we got no questions.
Do we don't have no questions? Oh, we didn't post any.
I did, but y'all niggas don't be following instructions. Like,
it depends. Certain people.
I think they tired of being by themselves. Never mind, I lied. What the fuck is it? Okay.
Well, here we go. Sing the theme song before you get started. Go ahead.
It's question time. you all to ask us and us to answer shit. Question time. Why
Did you ask this question?
this is why Drake glizzy gobblers don't hold him accountable. Why Drake always go at women? Oh, we had 2 and 1.
Let me see that.
Glizzy gobblers.
I thought I knew who it was for a second.
You do.
And I did.
Yep.
I knew it.
For sure.
I just had to make sure because I was like, I knew when I heard the question, I knew who was asking it. Okay, go ahead and repeat it for the people. Why do people that's on Drake nuts not hold him accountable?
Yep. And why does Drake always go at women? This is one of the most violent human beings I've ever known, and my life is much better for knowing him. I want you to understand that. Like,
absolutely. I mean, well, let's address the women part first. What women did he go at this time? Or is he just talking about in general?
I think in general, but he for sure went at Meg. Like, that was active.
I'm not mad at that because people know I don't like Meg anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Whatever song that was, but obviously, I mean, I think the going at women thing in music, it is what it sounds like. What everybody alludes to, like nobody's gonna like press you. You don't really think a woman's gonna come and like punch you in the face. Also, I think it plays on the
he goes at certain women.
Yeah, I also think it plays on that. You know, there's all this. We talk about it. There's a lot of gender discourse. So you shoot at, you know, whatever, and you understand that niggas is gonna be like, "I hate that bitch." They're gonna.
Well, he goes at certain women because he wouldn't. Granted, there's no reason to, but he wouldn't say shit to Rhapsody.
Well, yeah, for sure. That too.
Rhapsody would eat that nigga alive.
So
granted, Rhapsody keeps her nose clean because she's a decent human being, so she don't be in no shit. So he wouldn't have no reason to say nothing to or about her. But he ain't gonna. Even if he had to, he wouldn't. He not. Granted, there's not a reason for him to do it, but he wouldn't go at Mos. They asked Mos a question, and Mos was like, "Oh."
And I think the Meg thing is also just like the biggest artist, but you know his music is very much so about women who hurt him or whatever. But then that goes back to that Joe Budden conversation where everybody was getting mad, but it was like, you know, nigga pushing 40 and having all these interactions with, you know, stop fucking with the 20-year-olds so they can stop spinning you, so to speak. You know, I feel like
20-year-old OnlyFans girls.
Yeah, I feel like boy, I don't know,
models and whatnot.
Listen, just sidebar. I don't know when this response is gonna come back, but I've seen a lot of people say. I saw a post today that talked about, you know, I think Rick Ross said something about him and his, you know, communication once upon a time with 11 from Stranger Things. And I'm like, man, if a nigga was gonna cook a nigga with, I don't know what these niggas know about each other, but I'm not gonna lie. If I'm a nigga, I'm going straight to the booth with that one.
Them niggas know each other very well.
Yeah, that's
because all it's kind of like, say, L.A. In L.A., all the so-called influencer baddies, women with a whole bunch of certain amount of followers, they somehow, some way, all know each other.
Yeah.
I'll say any woman out here, well, I can't say a certain amount of followers because there's a lot of them that may have only like 1,000 followers and they ain't super active, but they got friends that got 60,000 followers.
They doing that shit.
They in the same rooms and doing the same behaviors. One just shows it a little bit less than the other. We can say that. But a lot of these women know each other and are connected to each other somehow, some way. Saying that really to paint the premise that Ross and Drake, they both have a certain amount of
Jakaris.
Right. They got a certain amount of zeros in their bank account to where they associate with one another. They can go to the Rock Nation brunch just off the strength. They don't really have to get invited. They can just go.
They ain't gonna never do that shit again.
It's gonna be a lot of people that ain't. It's gonna be real thin at the next one. They ain't gonna be having them conversations.
It's gonna be a Rock Nation picnic.
Right.
10 people.
Rock Nation dinner.
Yep.
Who's coming to the Carter house for dinner? That's basically what it's gonna be. But they've been around these, and you think about it, they've been in the game for some time.
Mm-hmm.
So they've had 10 plus years of being around each other.
Yep.
To where they've seen each other from when they were younger and not having a ton of money to seeing each other to be fucking megastars. So they got a lot of dirt on each other. I'm sure they can say, there's a bunch of shit that they can say because you've been around. If you think about it, you be around anybody for 10, 15 years. of course you're gonna have some stories on them.
Mm-hmm.
So they just, niggas, I think it's kind of like I want to call it like the girls trip syndrome. It was like we was all cool until we had a certain situation happen, and then we all just fell out over some miscommunication and egos, and now we throwing shade at each other.
Y'all wasn't cool to start with. Y'all be bonding with each other.
Y'all wouldn't. Y'all was aligning with each other for the image.
Yeah, y'all didn't like each other to start with.
Y'all didn't vet each other properly, but I think that's part of what it is in that regard. People they're not holding certain people accountable because they're only associating with or around certain people for a certain status.
So yeah, I think old Drizzy shits on women because he kind of knows your demographic, and like even if it's bullshit, that if you drop bars and make it seem like I was this way and I was doing shit that you weren't doing, and niggas could be like, I put the bitch on, and like it allows you to tell yourself the fantasy that somebody done really done you wrong. You might just be a fucking loser, my boy. And same kind of goes for him. He could be very rich, and then you picking a certain type of woman, and that's about it, man. That's pretty much it. Like it's Fresh and Fit-esque sometimes, and it applies because everybody got some fucking breakup shit. But to simply keep targeting that a bitch did you wrong, it's because
that's that white side talking.
Yeah, she hit me, and then the glizzy gobblers. That's what they do. A glizzy gobbler's not gonna hold you accountable.
The fanatics of any person. That's it. A fucking Barb is gonna do the same thing. Was it Navy? That's for Rihanna.
Yep, the Rihanna Navy, the Beehivers.
The Beehives. All those people.
The Swifties. They're
going to enable the person that they idolize to have done no wrong. That's just, I don't know what Drake's people are called. The Sixers, maybe? I don't fucking know.
You know what? They probably would. I don't know.
Could be.
That's crazy.
But anybody that idolizes these people, like this person doesn't even know you exist.
Are they the Woes?
I don't fucking know.
We built this. All right.
Okay. Sure. But yeah. It's everybody wants to feel like they're included. It's like fucking sports fans. You look at Jets fans or Browns fans or Clippers fans, shout out to Beef, that just support these organizations that have been 95% of the time they've not done well.
At least they say they shit ass. They just be like, I'm fucking with them though. They
right. At least there's a little bit of acceptance. But some of them, I think some of them are like Dallas Cowboys fans. Like every year is your year.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's wild.
Every year, no matter what happens, no matter how we choke, no matter how we make bad decisions, no matter how we do whatever, this year is going to be our year. Because you're not holding your team accountable for saying like, nah, they make dumbass decisions in this area and I'm just riding with them because I grew up liking this team or whatever the case is. People do the same thing with artists.
Or being at like really racist historical events. Don't hold them accountable for that either.
No.
Or like saying really weird shit during.
We don't hold white people accountable for anything, which is probably why we don't hold Drake accountable for anything because, that he gets to bring that white privilege to the party.
Next one, what do you think about a woman when she has ugly feet?
What do I think about a woman when she has? Can we describe? Ugly feet? Because there's so many things that can be unappealing with feet. It's like I've seen feet that are well kept and nice, but they got the bunion, so the bunion makes them look ugly.
Got the motherfucking hammer toe.
Yeah, they got the toe don't look. How the toe is shaped or whatever doesn't look the prettiest, but everything else is well. The feet ain't ashy. They got, they moisturize nicely. The toenails is getting done. The skin is smooth. It's just that little knuckle right there on the side of that toe make it look a certain kind of way.
Got the motherfucking claws.
So it could be, it could be a number of different ways that we describe how a foot doesn't look good. So to you, what does an ugly foot look like?
Yeah, I mean, oh shit, look at that. It's a foot. I don't know who foot this is.
Foots and feets.
That's crazy as fuck. Don't fucking listen to me, Instagram. Like,
that's what it's supposed to do.
We just mentioned feet. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not like a foot nigga. I've had the, privilege of, fucking with people with very nice feet. So I will say that, like, I'm not a foot nigga, but like, fucked up feet is kind of like, whoa. So I guess it might be like, butting into some shit crooked if the nails is fucked up. You know what bad looking feet look like.
I think now granted, yes, I've also dealt with predominantly mostly women that have had nice feet. I've had a couple that may have been questionable. I don't think I've ever seen terrible feet. But I've also dated women that were dancers, and dancers get their feet pretty beat up. Especially if they've done ballet or things of that nature. Their feet are going to be either rougher or they're going to be beat up or have, the corns or whatever on it, just because, it's no different than any other athlete's foot. Same thing when it comes to, say, women that play soccer.
Oh, she was at the Kumite. All right.
She's getting them extra points in between fights, breaking bricks. Doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, she was up there climbing the mountain with Uma and shit.
Right. But yeah, I can shoot a little bail depending. Like if you were an athlete or something along those lines, I know that there's a possibility that you may have had some rough experiences with your tootsies.
Mm-hmm.
So I can shoot a little bail and be understanding of that in that regard. Doesn't mean that you can't still take better care of them and improve them. But I want to know the circumstances as to why your foot is looking like this.
Yeah, so I guess if you good, but it's a circumstance the way your feet might be your way. It's cool. If I'm dating a dancer, I understand that she was tiptoeing on blocks and shit.
Yeah, it's gonna come with terror. Or if you could date with somebody who has eczema, so they may have like the alligator skin on their feet. Mm-hmm. It's not like their feet are not taken care of, but it's like that's a condition that you can't really control. You may get your feet done and you may moisturize them and make them look nice and all that, but this is a condition that I can't control. So I may have moments where my skin looks a little bit rough on my feet because I have this condition. Like I can't shit on you for that.
So yeah, I would say
if you got hoe feet, because you've been out here on a stroll. Some people who like
it's different.
Your feet look a certain way because you didn't spend a lot of time partying in your ute, wearing smaller shoes than you needed to, and beauty is paying my ass, but you was out here fucking your feet up and not treating them right. Then
see if you fucked your shit up,
if it's due to neglect and you ain't really taking care of your shit, that's a different conversation. But if you have certain circumstances, like it comes with the territory, depending. But there is a line. So what do I think about you? I think I'm gonna judge you based on how you take care of your feet, regardless of how they look. How they look may not necessarily dictate how you treat them. Because there's some women that have pretty feet, but they ain't really taking care of their feet. They just naturally have nice looking feet, but they could be crusty or dry or stanky or whatever the case is. How are you treating your shit, regardless of how it looks?
And lastly, before we wrap this shit up today, I don't know what's wrong with y'all, but like this clip of the dude throwing the ice has hit a fucking stride again. And y'all are really racist out loud on the internet about a nigga who threw ice on a group of people behind him. I'm not like, it's some of y'all, it was like, if he got slapped, I'm like, that's fine. Like, because if you throw ice on me at the table, like I probably might get up and slap you.
Did I miss that?
It at this point, because it just is like, y'all are just outrageously, it's like comically racist. And I didn't think that was that big a deal. Like, that's it.
I did see that.
And it just put Happy Black History Month again. Boy, these motherfuckers have been going off for over, this is month 2.
Is it others?
For sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Y'all make me laugh and I like it.
I mean, they get super sensitive when it's some shit being done to them, but they be real quiet and turning a blind eye.
I mean, a racist is a racist is a racist.
Right.
I be looking more at us.
Y'all get real Christian, like real turn the other cheekish when it's y'all doing some shit. But if it's some shit that's done to y'all, when the ratio in that area is highly skewed, y'all get real upset. But I mean, what about it? He threw some ice over there.
Yeah, I just that was it.
Why he tastes.
I be looking at more of a. It's funny because they be up here with their real names and real faces. Y'all are crazy as hell. But you know, go for it. And then my only thing is, I just want us, the us's that is out there, like fighting. Like, you know, it's cool, but like, take a deep breath, my guys, because y'all are fighting a stupid fight. These people are retarded.
Yeah, some people ain't worth you like.
Well, that's a bad word. These people are stupid though. They are stupid.
Yeah, some people ain't worth you responding to. There's some people that's like, in the words of Duval, they slow humans.
Yeah, they're.
And you just gotta, you know what? I'm gonna take the moral high ground, and I'm gonna just let this one have it, and I'm gonna just go on about my business.
Yeah, I've had a few people like, you know, yo, okay. I'm like, I'm not reading that shit. Fucking, I put it out there, and they can fucking fight to the death for all I can. I'm never reading that shit. So that's it, man. I don't even know what the fuck I want to end this on. I mean, we was hectic starting.
You gonna be hectic out the door too?
Yeah, man, because I just know I still have my guilty pleasure listens.
Well, you
and like,
could be,
you know,
you could be hectic from the time period that we started off the show talking about. What you
I'm gonna give y'all, because I feel like I hate on a lot of like I sound old manish when I'm talking about music, and I am, but like, I don't give a fuck, man. Big X dropped some shit, and I'm gonna listen to it. Cause he be having old samples. I feel like
they are cool. This generation is some sampling ass.
Yep. And it's a Dallas nigga.
But they don't change up their samples. They literally just sample it, and that be the end of it. And they throw a basic.
Thanks for listening.
So you just threw a little elementary beat on top of a sample. It works, but they don't be using no creativity at all.
I'm ready to go out and tear the world up.
But
alright, see y'all next week.
Does this hurt our funkiest podcast rating when we play songs like this? Does this hurt our funkiest podcast rating when we play songs like this?
It's a funky sample. Come on, baby, you throwing ass to this a little bit. It's kind of groovy.
I need some skinny jeans and a colorful windbreaker and a t-shirt under,
and
with some big shoes and a couple chains.
And we got funk equity. We got funk equity for at least 7 years.
Fair enough.
Play whatever the fuck I want. All right, bye. So say that again. Hang on. I don't care about no coochie. Wait, in the back. There we go.
Need all my money on time, don't care who we owe. Slip my foot in the game like I'm Coolio. Step on a nigga, don't give a fuck who we know. Bitch, I'm different, don't care about no coochie, ho. Before rap, I had rocks and I let it roll. Came a long way from noodles off Granny Stove. Now we eat steaks with the shrimp.